Welcome to Living Your Heroic Life, Finding and Unleashing Your Inner Tigger. Quick reminder, I chose a year of magical reinvention as my theme for 2025, and we've come to the end of another year together. First, let me thank all of you who joined me on this journey. If you missed the personal reinvention train in 2025, it's never too late to hop on board. I created how to get started videos that included all of the basics from each webinar I held in 2025, and you can watch these for free on my YouTube channel. And now it's time to go forth and begin living your newly forged heroic life. Living a heroic life involves embodying qualities that contribute positively to the well-being of yourself and others. It's not limited to grand gestures, but includes everyday actions that reflect courage, compassion, and selflessness. My sister Colleen was the most heroic person I've ever known. She passed away in 2015 on September 11th, as a matter of fact. 9/11 is a term that sadly entered our lexicon in 2001, and none of us will ever forget the many acts of courage, bravery, and heroism we witnessed during the aftermath. But you don't need to be a doctor or a nurse or a firefighter to be a hero in your own life. You can be a hero simply by enduring something challenging for one moment more, by facing down your fears, by working through illness, injury, addiction, depression, grief, or some other obstacle as best you can, and by doing the right thing, regardless of the consequences. And when you can see yourself as a hero, you can face anything. Now, does that mean that you should always feel happy about everything every day? Of course not. But you can choose to allow yourself to celebrate your uniqueness and feel enthusiasm about even one thing each day. As Richard Cohen said, heroism is a matter of choice. So, what does Tigger have to do with all this living heroic life? Well, one thing Colleen and I often talked about was types of people and how we could usually separate them into two categories: Tiggers and Eeyores. You know what I mean? Those who are enthusiastic about life no matter what life throws at them. Those are Tiggers. And those, oh, woe is me, and everything that could possibly go wrong will go wrong. Sad sacks who can't find joy in anything. Eeyores. Now, as cute as I think Eeyore is, I mean, look at those ears and those sad eyes. I like to think I'm mostly a Tigger. My sister certainly was. So let's begin with this quote from Tigger himself. It's a dangerous path I bounce, but I bounce it alone because the 100-acre wood needs a hero, Pooh Bear, and I'm the only one. Fun-loving and bouncy, Tigger is the boisterous member of the 100-acre wood community. He proudly announces to everyone that he's one of a kind. He revels in his uniqueness, and his exuberance is contagious. Most importantly, he has a purpose in life that only he can do. He finds his way through the fog and helps others find their way too. Any other way of life would be, in his words, just ridiculous. And in his own mind, that makes him a hero. Now, having a purpose in life doesn't have to be lofty to be valuable and worth doing. Ralph Waldo Emerson said it best when he said, the purpose of life is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you lived well and lived at all. That sums up my sister. Now, I believe that just like Tigger, each of us is one of a kind with a special blend of talents and qualities that no one else has. And I believe that each of us has a purpose, just like Tigger, that only we can do. So in this video, I will be showing you how you too can live your heroic life by finding and unleashing upon the world your inner Tigger. So let's take a look at what we're going to be talking about today. First, we're going to talk about what are the key aspects of living heroic life. Then we're going to look at, so what makes a Tigger? We're then going to move on to 10 life lessons we can learn from Tigger. And then the fun really begins. We're going to help you become Tiggerized. You'll have an opportunity to do your own deep dive. finding your inner Tigger, what makes you bounce, and unleashing your inner Tigger, what makes you pounce. And then, of course, the way ahead, how you can keep bouncing and pouncing. So let's get started. Let's take a look at what does it mean to live a heroic life. Notice the quote on this slide from Christopher Reeve, who certainly knew something about living his own heroic life after suffering a catastrophic, life-changing, and ultimately life-ending injury. A hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. Living a heroic life means consistently making the choice to act with courage, selflessness, and purpose in service of others or a moral cause, even in the face of fear or potential risk. It's not defined by a single grand event, but rather by an ongoing commitment to embody virtues like empathy, integrity, and resilience in everyday life. So this slide shows some of the key aspects of living a heroic life. And as I read through these and you look at them, do any of them resonate with you? Number one, courage and bravery. Heroes are not fearless. They're people who feel fear, but choose to act anyway. This can range from the big H heroism, which involves significant personal risk, like a firefighter running into a burning building, or the small h heroism, which involves everyday actions like standing up to a bully or speaking out against injustice. Number two, service and selflessness. A core component of heroism is a genuine concern for the well-being of others and a willingness to put their needs before one's own without expectation of reward or recognition. Number three, purpose and values. A heroic life is a purposeful life guided by a strong moral compass or a set of deeply held values that the individual is willing to defend. Next, growth and resilience. Heroes use adversity, struggle, and mistakes as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Number five, authenticity and responsibility. It involves becoming the hero of your own life by taking responsibility for your choices and actions, rather than waiting to be rescued or blaming circumstances. And then last, empathy and connection. The ability to understand and connect with someone else's perspectives and needs is a foundational quality that drives heroic behavior. Ultimately, living heroically is about realizing your potential and using it to make a positive difference in the world, whether in a large public sphere or just within your own community and family. Okay, so let's move on to how these key aspects relate to finding and unleashing your inner Tigger. Let's start with what makes a Tigger. Tigger, noun, plural, Tiggers, a one-of-a-kind, overly enthusiastic or energetic person, often characterized by bouncing. So this slide shows some of the most obvious traits of a Tigger personality. They are one of a kind and wonderful, at least in their own eyes. They have complete confidence in themselves, whether others agree with their assessment or not. They eagerly share enthusiasm with others, whether others want them to or not. They appear larger than life because of their bouncing. They are boisterous, exuberant, enthusiastic, optimistic, and well-meaning. They undertake everything with gusto. And then, most importantly, they heroically jump into helping others without thinking about danger to themselves. Remember, we said that a hero isn't someone who is fearless. Instead, it's someone who feels the fear, but chooses to act anyway. So looking at this slide, do any of these resonate with you? Are there any that you'd like to embrace more of, but you felt unwilling or unable to try to navigate your daily life in a new way? Learning to embrace our uniqueness can be hard in a world where conformity is usually expected and often rewarded. Maybe your family had expectations of you that meant getting a certain kind of job or following in the family footsteps. Perhaps enthusiasm and exuberance were not encouraged or even allowed in your family. Maybe that old adage, children should be seen and not heard, was taken literally by your parents or caregivers. For me, the one that says are boisterous, exuberant, enthusiastic, optimistic, well-meaning, that jumped out at me because in my family, they did not encourage anything that was at all energetic. It was more on the side of children should be seen and not heard. So I never was able to really embrace that. So let's look at how we can overcome these self-imposed restrictions by seeing the value of being Tiggerized. 10 life lessons that we can learn from Tigger. Number 1, a positive attitude keeps you on track and content. Tigger always knows where he is and where he's going. Plus, he manages to have some fun along the way. He stays upbeat and loves to be around his friends. Number 2, positive energy inspires others. Good leaders are good motivators, and they tend to be very positive thinkers. Tigger is like that. He stirs up his friends' energy levels and helps them accomplish their goals. Number 3, happiness is knowing who you are. Tigger once lost his stripes, and with them his sense of self. Trying to be everyone else just frustrated him until he realized that he could only be himself in order to be truly happy. Then his stripes began to reappear. Number 4, face life with enthusiasm and you'll succeed. Tigger doesn't let circumstances affect how he approaches life. He feels unique and motivated. He finds his way through the fog and he helps others find their way too. Number 5, upbeat people always have friends. They make friends easily because their enthusiasm is attractive to others. That same quality also makes them good friends to have. Number 6, don't let critics or naysayers get you down. Tigger demonstrates that it's possible to keep a positive self-image and be patient with those who take him to task. We don't have to let others dictate how we feel about ourselves. The next life lesson is you can bounce back from anything. Tigger refuses to let the schemes or attitudes of others keep him from enjoying life and having fun. He knows who he is, and when he's around someone who tries to spoil his day, he just bounces right out of there. Next, you don't need to be mean to overcome meanness. Even when Tigger knows he's getting the business from others, he still tries to be a friend and stay upbeat. He won't return evil for evil. He stays true to his core personality and outlook, no matter how badly he's treated. The next life lesson is you are bigger than your flaws. Sure, Tigger mispronounces words and enjoys a little mischief, but he's always ready for anything, including helping out a friend. He won't let a few little blemishes define who he is. He knows he's special, and that's enough. And then number 10, of course, you have a purpose each day that only you can do. You are one of a kind with a special blend of talents and qualities that nobody else has. So looking at this slide, do any of these resonate with you? Are there any that you'd like to embrace more of, but again, you felt unwilling or unable to try a new way of navigating your daily life? Maybe you know a Tigger or two and have wondered how they manage to keep bouncing and pouncing in an uncertain world. So number 8, you don't need to be mean to overcome meanness. That really resonated with me. I actually left a job once because I found myself beginning to, in fact, embrace meanness and demonstrate meanness in the face of meanness. Now, I will give you a shameless plug here. I talked about that actually in my 4th book called I've Been Down Here Before, but this time I Know the Way Out, which you can order from my website. Okay, we've looked at the characteristics and life lessons that make a Tigger personality. Now we're going to move on to some of those fun exercises that are going to help you become Tiggerized. So on this slide, you will see 6 statements that you can work through. This exercise will help you find your own inner Tigger. That is what it takes to make you bounce. So Everything here, you can refer back throughout the slides to remind yourself what some of these things are, but this is where you can start thinking about how would you describe all these things for yourself. You can pause the video, start thinking about this. Number one, describe what you think a Tigger is. Looking at the slides that I gave you characteristics of, do these characterize your notion of a Tigger? Are there any characteristics that you'd want to add? Number two, describe what makes you unique. Tigger sums himself up as bouncy, flouncy, pouncy, trouncy, and fun, fun, fun. Can you describe what makes you unique? Number three, can you describe a time when you lost your stripes? Remember, one of the 10 life lessons is happiness is knowing who you are. Tigger once lost his stripes because he was trying to be everyone else. Has this ever happened to you? How did you regain your stripes? Number four, can you describe at least one thing that you are always enthusiastic about? Now, this can be anything from listening to music, to gardening, to reading, to bird watching, to watching the sunset. And don't forget, this can also include your work life, not just your personal life. Think about your day or your upcoming week. What do you always look forward to? Number five, can you describe at least one playful thing you enjoy doing? Now, remember that being playful isn't the same thing as being enthusiastic. To be playful means to be lighthearted, frisky, silly, fond of games and amusement, someone who likes to have fun and doesn't take things too seriously. This can be a tough one for some people. It certainly was for me. For many years, people described me as being absolutely grim. That was their word. Play is considered a purposeless activity that brings about joy and pleasure. That means you're not engaged for the sole purpose of winning, accomplishing a goal, or improving yourself. You're simply immersed in the moment-to-moment experience of play with a child like abandon. Some examples include blowing bubbles, coloring or doodling, building something with Legos, flying a kite, jumping in a pile of leaves, hula hooping, skipping rocks in a river. My dog and I happened to play hunting in the African veld. It's a long story, but it's fun for us. It's something that we like to pretend doing. Not that he ever takes anything down in the African veld. That's not the point. It's fun. And the last one, pick one life lesson and describe how you already embrace it in your life. Go back through the slide that says life lessons. Is there one you already do? Most people are surprised about this one because they think that life lessons have to be bigger than life. And so they assume they just don't live their lives in that way. But you can see from Tigger's list, this can be as simple as just being happy about something. So when you go through this slide, I've moved on to the next one, but you can pause. Are there any surprises? Was this harder or easier than you expected? For me, picking something I'm enthusiastic about was pretty easy. I love to read. I do it daily. But picking something fun, as I said, I was grim for many years. Not so much easy for me. I had no idea what it meant to be lighthearted or how to do something that didn't have a goal or a purpose. Okay, now we're going to unleash that inner Tigger. This exercise will help you manifest your inner Tigger, what makes you pounce. So here's the slide that you can see how to become Tiggerized, unleashing your inner Tigger. Notice the quote on this slide. This is from a book called Long Live the Queen, which is about the 23 rules that the late Queen Elizabeth embraced in her life. This one was number 10, so I figure if it's good enough for the Queen of England, it's good enough for us. Queen Elizabeth took time to play almost every day, specifically with horses. Doing so kept her muscles active and her mind remarkably agile, thanks to play's unique ability to suspend the brain in a youthful, flexible state. So there are 5 statements here. You can pause as I read through them, start thinking about how would you answer them? Would you be able to do these and make these descriptions? Number one, looking back at how you described your uniqueness, right? We did that in the previous slide, how you described your uniqueness. How can you embrace this in your daily life? Now, maybe you already do. In that case, describe how you do this today. Or maybe you only embrace one or two aspects, but there are others you might want to bring forward. What would those be? Or maybe there are times in your life where it's very separate, your personal life, your work life, and you don't bring those unique qualities in. Would you like to be able to do that? Are there more you would like to incorporate? Number two, describe how you can incorporate one thing you've always been enthusiastic about into your daily life. Again, not every once in a while, but if you were able to come up with things that you're enthusiastic about, can you do them daily? Number three, describe how you can incorporate one playful thing you enjoy doing in your daily life. Notice that constant underline of daily. You don't want to do this once in a while. Living your heroic life is about embracing your uniqueness daily. Remember what Queen Elizabeth said about the benefits of daily play, kept her muscles active, her mind relatively agile. You know, she lived a pretty long time and only passed just fairly recently. So apparently there's something to this. Next, number four, pick one life lesson that you don't currently embrace and describe how you could incorporate it into your daily life. Are there any that especially resonate with you, but you don't do it now? How would it enrich your life? For example, maybe you really resonate with positive energy inspires others. How could you use this in your own life, in your family circle, with friends, at work, or even when you come into contact with strangers? And then last, describe how you can fulfill your life purpose each day using your special blend of talents and qualities that no one else has. Tigger defines his purpose as life as being able to help others find their way through the fog. And remember, your life purpose doesn't have to be huge or even visible to be valuable. Just being a good friend or even being kind to strangers can help someone find their way through the fog as well. So as you work through this slide also, I always ask, were there any surprises? Was this harder or easier than you expected? We often don't take the time to really examine and embrace our uniqueness. And often this is harder than we expected it to be. Okay, so you can consider yourself now bounced and pounced. Let's talk about the way ahead. I hope I've been able to show you today that incorporating even one of Tigger's life lessons can smooth the path before you, even in the midst of uncertain times. Your ability to celebrate your uniqueness can go stronger with a little cognitive flexing and some daily bouncing and pouncing. So here are some final suggestions that you can use. Number one, embrace your uniqueness. Oscar Wilde once said, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Number two, use your uniqueness to fulfill your life purpose heroically in some small way each day. Yes, I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Your life purpose doesn't have to be huge or even visible to be valuable. Just being a good friend, kind to strangers, those small things. Think about when you're out and a stranger has been kind to you. Think what that has meant to you. Do something fun each day with enthusiasm and exuberance. Remember that Tigger refuses to let the schemes or attitudes of others keep him from enjoying life and having fun. Number four, emulate and embrace the Tiggers in your life. Those people who maintain a sense of positivity. It's contagious, and it's the one thing that it's okay to catch. And number five, bounce the Eeyores out of your life or pounce them into a new way of living. Tigger knows who he is, and when he's around someone who tries to spoil his day, he just bounces them out of his life. Better still, He shares his joy by painting his stripes on everyone around him. So, I appreciate the fact that you watched this video today. We've come to the end of our time together. I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope you found this video worthwhile and you've uncovered some tools that you can use to move forward. And please, of course, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to see more. And you can follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Now go out there and start living your heroic life. Thanks for watching today.